Special level 2 member request here. Thank you very much for that. This song here we'll be using a drop C tuning. So we'll have C, G, C, F, A, D. Okay, and two guitars going on here. One doing some lead stuff, one doing just, the basic chords and all that. Maybe a certain section we can just combine both of them, which is nice. But for the most part, pretty separate vibes. The initial intro here has maybe like a filtered effect on it, but it's pretty much the same progression for the intro and the verse. Alright, and we just start with these interesting chord shapes here where initially it's like a F major 13 without the 3 in there, and it sounds difficult. It's simple here. So open G, 7, or sorry, we're in drop C, so open F string, the 3rd string, then we do the 7 on the 2nd string, the A string, and the open on the D string, the 1st string. Right? And it's just kind of hit it, couple, right? And then just drop down to C major 7 sus 2, which would just be the open middle C string, the 4th string, then the 2nd fret 3rd string, 2nd fret on the 2nd string, and the open 1st string. Alright, and this, just give it a hit, a little hesitation, 1, 2, 3. Something like that. And then we're going to slide up to, which are just variations of this A7 sus. So just do 9 on the 3rd string, 10 on the 2nd string, and the open 1st string. Hit it, a little hesitation once more, maybe 1, 2, 3. And then just bring that same shape up 2 frets, so we're at the 11 and the 12, and you can keep that same open high 1st string. Hit it, a couple more, and then just right back down to the 9, 10 with the open. Hit that, and then a few more on it. Right. Real loose vibes here, and like I said, it kind of starts the intro with maybe a filtered effect on it, and then the verse just carries it through normally. And eventually we'll get this 2nd guitar doing a little lead thing over the top. Nothing crazy, just 1st string, 7th fret. Hit it, hold it. Plenty of reverb, all that jazz. And 7 on the 2nd string. Hold that. And then just 3rd string, 7 to 9. A little hesitation, and then 7 on the 2nd string. You can just repeat that throughout the verse there. Eventually we get to, everything gets real big here. This is like a pre/post chorus section because it happens just before, I guess you would call the main chorus, and it happens right after it. Starts with more just like a big power chord, so just 2nd fret here on the C, G, and C. Alright, and then you can throw in that 4 on the F string, the 3rd string there. Alright, and it's just kind of a straightforward 8th note strum here. Carries that out, 4 measures of 4. Alright, and then we'll take that and just slide it to an F suspended 2nd, which you do the 5 on the C and the G, and then do the 7 on the middle C. And with this one, it's like you can give it a few strums, and maybe a couple shuffles there. Alright, and then that last hit, we're going to mix in what the 2nd guitar is doing. The 1st guitar might be able to squeeze this in too because it's just kind of right there. But basically it's just getting this 6 on the 3rd string and just giving that a bend and release. Alright. And it'll go through that a couple times, and then eventually we get the 2nd guitar doing a lead over the top. And this kind of happens, after like the first couple beats of, like the D power chord. And it'll just hit this open 2nd string. Then do 5 on the 1st string. 3 on the 2nd string. Alright, and that'll repeat as well throughout that pre-post chorus section. And I guess when we get to the official chorus, kind of the similar chords that we were just using, but we'll throw in an extra one and then just a few extra notes here because I think we're basically just going to combine what the 2 guitars are doing. So we'll just start with our same D power chord, the 2s with the 4 on the F, but then you can mix in this like 2nd fret on the 2nd string as well. All right. And if you happen to hit the 2nd fret on the 1st string, it's not a big deal either. You can throw that in, but not terribly necessary. Okay, so just getting really big sounding here. So strum that out the same, 4 measures of 4, and then we go up to our F sus again, and the 5 5 5 now. All right, so basically we'll just take the 7 that we had on that middle C, drop it down to the 7 on the F string, the 3rd string there, and then also throw in the 7 on the 2nd string. Okay, it's like F sus 2. Might even be a major vibe going in there. Alright, and then we hit this a couple times, do a little shuffle on it, and then just kind of lift off and drop down to 2s on the 2nd and 3rd string here, and then just opens on the low C. Alright, finally get to use this low C tuning here. So just be open, 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 and then 2s. And you can hit it, blow hesitation, and then just strum it out. Alright, and this is kind of like a C, like a major vibe happening there as well. And that whole thing will repeat a handful of times as well, and then like I said, it'll switch back to the previous thing we were doing. But once we get to the very end there, we'll get this outro lead scale happening, and it gets kind of high, and it may even be doing some like trem picking if you want to do that. So basically this is kind of the notes that are being used here. You can kind of switch them around a little bit if you want, play around with the scale, but it's just 12 on the 2nd string, do 17 on the 1st string, 15, 14, and then you can kind of walk it back by doing the 12 1st string back to 14. And like I said, you can kind of play around with these notes a little bit too, improvise a little bit, and aside from that, you should be all set.